one of the main attractions of the Europeans to the Gambia was the trade in ivory, which unfortunately is not reflected anywhere in some of these so-called history books. And in 400 years of their presence, they wiped out all the big five. When we say big five in wildlife, you talk about lions, elephants, giraffes, hippos, and rhinos, and buffaloes. There is a hill on the river Gambia. They call it Malu Boy Konko. That was where they shot the last elephant in 1958. How many schools did they build? How many roads or hospitals? For 400 years. Is that good governance or bad governance? Now, is that democratic? Throughout that time, no Gambian was voted or allowed to vote to people going to the British Parliament. But that's something else. That's a side issue. Now, then we had 30 years of independence. The status quo remained with cosmetic changes here and there. Now, I think if they think that the West think that they can confuse Africans, but me, they cannot confuse me. Because if there is no good governance, a government that is not practicing good governance will not build schools, will not build infrastructure for the people to enjoy. That government would only be interested in making money. Do you understand? So, 30 years, some of you might have carried, we didn't fall into that category, though we were there. You carried a desk or a chair to school.
We saw that.
Now, in those days, getting a scholarship at a university is not based on what you know, but who you know. We all know that. So, how can anybody sit and say, oh, there's no good governance? Because whatever this government has is for the interest of the people. And that is why, despite all the odds, we were able to make a spectacular achievement over an 18 years period. Despite all the odds, thanks to the Almighty Allah and the good Gambian people. And of course, friends of the Gambia. So now, define good governance. And what are the evidence of good or bad governance? As far as I'm concerned, Gambians today are prouder of themselves than they were before. Talking about patriotism, it's a fact that it is a very, very slow process, but it's getting there. But Gambians were bombarded, made to believe that, oh, when you have something important, bring a foreign artist. Still up to now, we're battling that phenomenon. Even though the Gambian musicians songs would mean more, and they play better music, but you still have this mental, negative mental attribute ingrained in the psyche of the Gambian. Oh, Korite, oh, for us to have a big party, you have to invite a foreigner. You pay him 10 times what you're going to give a Gambian, and you play 100 times less, and most of the time would be remixed. Do you understand? He's not going to give you new music. He's not going to give you any new message. In fact, some of those people that we bring, their music doesn't carry any message apart from rubbish talk. But then we still believe that. So it's psychological. You watch neighboring countries' televisions, they would not play one Gambian artist. And you watch GRTS, most of these programs are dominated by non-Gambian artists. So that I call Mozart and I tell him, I'm giving you 5 minutes to sort that program. We cannot be dummies anymore. If you don't like my music, why should I promote your music? Why are we promoting foreign artists at the expense of Gambian artists? How do we make them feel? It is a proverb in our family that if your father praises somebody's son in your presence and doesn't praise you, he's telling you are useless. And so he's demoralizing you. And so our national television cannot be used to demoralize Gambian artists. That is not going to happen. Do you understand? So I call him, and then that's why sometimes you see a program on, and all of a sudden they bring something else and then change the program, because I give them 5 minutes to take it off. I always tell him, if there is no Gambian artist, then shut the TV off. But you cannot just have a whole program of maybe 90-minute program and 89 minutes all devoted to foreign artists. It's not going to be. But people have to change their attitude. Why? Because if you have a fundraising event or any big event, do you understand? And you bring only Gambia artists, even if the ticket is cheaper, they will not buy because there is no foreign artists. But we look around, watch, every country has a TV, and now with this DSTV, you can watch almost any country's television, or you have Canal and you have others. Look at all the neighboring countries and tell me one country's national television that plays Gambian music. And then Grts will spend the whole program playing foreign music. I'm happy that you raised this issue. And that's history. I'm not saying we shouldn't play foreign music, but we are not going to play to the detriment of our musicians. Now, we also have to be selective. If they don't play our music, don't play their music. They have a TV, we have our TV. So national has to be national. Do you understand? Yeah, we cannot be also calling for integration at our own expense. That's not going to happen. African integration, yes. But integration cannot be a one-way street. We are only Gambians opening up our borders and everything to foreigners, and there's nobody's reciprocating. We are not going to accept that. So, but Ghanaians also have to change attitude, because I go to any, find them drink attire, only what they play is foreign music. That's the reality. So development, now, if you promote Gambian artists, you are contributing to national development. Why? Because you're creating employment. Now, if you buy their music, you provide a means of sustenance for them, and then they'll be able to employ more people, so you're creating employment. But when you abandon your own artists and buy rubbish, junk music from somebody who is outside of the country, you're not helping. You destroy your economy. Like when you decide, instead of going around and take this local wrapper, the handmade cloth and others, oh, it's expensive. And then you go and buy this necktie from Italy, which costs 10 times one. If you understand what I mean. I do. So we Africans create unemployment in Africa, and then create employment in the West, and it is unfortunate. Now, if, for example, in the resources we have, if, I mean, when I say we, I mean in Africa, if an African country, a company from the Gambia, they look at it, everybody, CEO, everybody is Gambian, goes to a particular country and say, oh, we are interested in extracting this. They will not even look at us. They will say, you don't know yourself. But let one European come with a bogus company and he's giving red carpet treatment. This is the psychology that is detrimental to Africa's socioeconomic development, Africa in general and Gambia in particular. So we have a long way to go. We have to change attitude. Let us be positive about ourselves. Because self-confidence has to be created by yourself. It cannot be imposed. Now, if you are dependent on me, you can have no self-confidence. But I can just see in the street and say, well, I'm giving you 5 minutes to go home and eat, otherwise you're not going to eat. Do you understand? So where's your self-confidence?